In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to create a viral 3D animation like this one right here very easily using After Effects. So without any further ado, let's get started. Create a new composition with a 16:9 frame size ratio, and then we need to create a solid layer with the width and height of 400 pixels and with the color same as of the background. Break the chain and increase its scale as shown. Now select the text tool and type the number. Now we need to add a rectangle shape around the text with the help of rounded rectangle tool. Adjust the stroke size to something like 3 pixels. Select both the text and shape layers and enable 3D on them and pre-comp them. Adjust its position aside as shown. Now we need to make 5 more copies of it so that we can have 6 layers. Adjust the position of every other comp as shown. Now we need to make 5 more copies of the pre-comp here in the project panel as well. Now open the pre-comp 2 layer, select the text and re-edit it to number 2. In the same way, open the pre-comp 3 layer and change the number to 3. Now here I would like to rename the layer's name to avoid any confusion. Now open the second comp and hold the Alt key and just drag the pre-comp 2 layer onto it. And in the same way, select the third one, hold the Alt key and drag the pre-comp 3 onto it. Do the same for 4, 5, 6 compositions as well. Type the text and position it above the numbers. Select all the layers and enable 3D on them. Let's add some animation to the text. This is just a basic animation. In case if you need this preset, you can download it from the link in the description. Now select all the layers and pre-comp them and enable 3D on it. Now we need to import a PNG layer and drop it over the pre-comp. Enable 3D and adjust its size. Now we need to switch to two views. The first one is set to active camera and the second one is set to custom view 1. Select the orbit around cursor tool and adjust its position like this. Now with the PNG layer selected, rotate it with the help of X rotation wheel to 90 degrees. And with the help of Z rotation wheel, adjust it to 180 degrees. And finally, with the help of axis arrow, position it a little bit down as shown here. Now select the orbit around cursor tool and check its position. It should be placed a little bit down. You can do it with the help of down arrow key. Yeah, this one looks perfect. Now let's switch back to one view. Now we need to create a null layer and enable 3D on it. Parent both these layers to the null one. Now with the null one layer selected, press P to open position property and hold the shift key and press R to open rotation property. Add keyframes on position, orientation and on XY rotations as well. Come few frames forward on the timeline and adjust the Y rotation to -180 degrees with the help of Y rotation wheel, and with the help of X rotation wheel, rotate it to something near 70 degrees. Scale the PNG and adjust its position down. We have plenty of space here down, so select all of the layers and position them a little bit down. After the text is visible completely, the flip animation should start. So select all these keyframes which were on the first frame and move them right here. Now after the text appears, the flip animation starts. Give a slight X rotation as well. We don't need this Y rotation keyframe. I don't know why I added it. So yeah, here we go. This is what we have got. Now come to the frame like this and select the rounded rectangle tool and draw a shape and set the stroke width to something like 9. Now we need to type the text and position it inside the rectangle shape. Start these two layers from here, create a null layer and enable 3D on it. Now open the null one rotation properties and add keyframes on orientation and on X rotation. and then come to the second keyframe and add keyframes over there as well. Now come back to the first keyframe and copy the orientation values from null 1 and paste it over this null layer. After done, parent these two layers to the null which is above it. Now come to the second keyframe and copy the orientation values from this null to this. So yeah, this is what we have got. Here its orientation needs to be corrected. So let's adjust its Y rotation to something like -20 degrees. Yeah, that looks perfect. Let's give some animation to the text. This preset will be available in the description. And let's add the trim path effect to the rectangle shape as well. Adjust the end property to 0 and add a keyframe, and then come few frames forward and set the end value to 100. So yeah, here we go. That looks fantastic. We need to duplicate the text and shape layers and place them above and remove the parent. Create another layer and make it 3D and parent these two layers to it. Now open the rotation properties of the null layer. Let's flip it by giving a Y orientation of 140 degrees and flip this Y orientation value to something like 225 degrees and make sure it aligns perfectly with the perspective that the rectangle has. Yeah, here we go, that's perfect. Re-edit the text in it. Now let's create this sliding animation. Select all these 6 compositions and press P to open their position properties and add a keyframe on the first frame, and then come to the 12th frame, something like that, and then add keyframes over there as well. Now select only the first 3 layers and come to the first keyframe position and move them to the left side as shown here with the help of X rotation. Now select all those keyframes and press F9 for the smooth movement. Add opacity keyframes as well and add keyframes on the 12th frame as well. No, not on 12th frame. Place them a little bit early, something like on the 8th frame, and set the opacity value to 0. Now we got this kind of awesome animation. Offset those layers one after the other to make the edit look more attractive. Now select the 4, 5, 6 compositions as well, and by being on the first frame of position, move them to the right side as shown here. Now select all those keyframes and easy ease. Now here we need to add opacity keyframes as well, like we did for the previous 3 layers. Now select all those keyframes and easy ease. Now finally offset these layers as well. Now head back to the main composition and pre-comp all these layers. Now let's take a look at it. Add a glow or deep glow effect on this pre-comp to make it look more attractive. So yeah, that's it for the video guys. I hope you found this video helpful and thank you so much for watching.